Hello and welcome to today's daily education here at Forex.Academy. My name is Robert Blackwell and I have the pleasure today to walk you through today's daily educational video. Before we do so, please consult the following disclaimer. There is, of course, always inherent risk when trading the financial markets. And so for the topic of conversation for today's daily educational video, we will be discussing trading the US dollar index. So let's bring our attention then to our JFX trading platform. And of course, one of the main benefits to trading on a CFD trading platform is indeed the fact that there are many different instruments to trade from. So you can scroll the market watch here. You can trade many different Forex pairs. Of course, if you look below, you'll see equity indices over different time frames and Forex pairs as well. But let's focus our attention on the daily price action here of the dollar index. And I want to bring over a picture just to show you the actual makeup of this dollar index in terms of understanding what you're actually trading. It's effectively a basket of currencies against the US dollar, and its makeup is quite significant in terms of those weightings. So here on screen, you can actually see the weightings here are heavily outweighted towards the euro pairs. So we have 57.6% weighted towards the euro. Then the next is, of course, the Japanese yen. They're at 13.6%. The British pound is, of course, 11.9%. And obviously the Canadian dollar, Swedish krona, and Swiss franc are other currency pairs that actually make up the weighted basket of currencies relative to the dollar. So you can see just with the chart there, the weightings for these different currency pairs. Of course, if you're trading the euro US dollar, it's effectively a kind of flip trade when you're actually trading the dollar index. If you think of the makeup, almost 60% of the dollar index is the dollar against another currency, i.e. the euro here. So 60% or 57.6 is quite large. And that's why we also see that dollar index as a hedge for those euro dollar trades. So I'll just take this off screen for a moment and look at the price action in terms of trading the euro dollar and looking at the dollar index as well to give you that level of reflection and insight. So here we're at all-time, well, not all-time, but a real inflection point in terms of these recent highs in the dollar index. Again, I'll just scroll out on the price action, okay? So can you spot anything significant in terms of where we are at these levels? Okay, so I'll use two charts to explain this. First of all, we have the dollar index just hitting these highs here in October time, around November, October. And then we had quite a bearish trend in the dollar index floating around these levels before. A more relative, very strong trend right up to nominal levels here at a 95, 94.9 level in the dollar index, okay? Now we've now reached what looks like a double top formation and now just trading to the downside here from these relative highs, okay? So we can look to the dollar index to hedge, of course, dollar positions, or if you want to gain a level of exposure in trading the dollar, if you want to get long the dollar, you can, of course, get long the dollar index. But again, it is weighted across sort of six real main currencies, the euro and the Japanese yen, of course, making over 70% of that weighting. So do bear that in mind. And to really show you what I mean by the level of exposure that you're actually gaining, if we look at the dollar index, and then what we'll do is we'll bring the euro dollar over to another market here. Can you see something significant in terms of the pricing structure? Again, I'll just zoom out and we'll go back and forth between these two trades. Effectively, we can see something similar in terms of the market structure. Of course, they are effectively trading quite similar given they are hedge markets. Really what we have here is the euro against the US dollar. Okay, so really what you're trading is, of course, 50% strength or weakness for the euro against, well, it's just one of the currencies, 50-50. When, of course, if you're trading something where the dollar index is relative to other currency pairs, i.e. The euro is the outweighing factor, again, you're looking for 0.57 of the total 100%, okay, of the total one of those other currency pairs is very, very strongly weighted towards the euro. And as a result, when you see trading periods where the euro makes a strong move, let's say the euro gets really strong over the next week or two and trades up like this, well, if I go back to the euro dollar chart, you're likely to see the exact opposite happen, okay? And you can see the structures are starting to make sense now in terms of these trades. So that's exactly what you're going to see. So again, I'd just like to go over this in terms of the context here. We have the dollar index gaining a level of exposure in the dollar, but you can see how these are trading, okay? Dollar index over the long term bounces from these levels, trades to the downside before consolidating. Now we get a strong break and again hitting these levels again. Let's go back to the euro dollar and effectively we see the opposite trade. We see the opposite trade. Now again, you're simply trading the euro against the US dollar here. We see a big move to the upside, breaking such levels, again bouncing, moving, and then consolidating, and then pulling back right to the level before pushing off again. So effectively, it's the flip side of that trade. And again, I'll go back to the exposure levels just to really bring this together. This is our table. When we are trading euro dollar, we're effectively trading 50-50 from euro to US dollar in terms of base currency to quote currency. When we are trading the US dollar index, we're trading the dollar against all of these weighting pairs here. But you can see the greater pair, of course, as a weighting 0.576 is the euro. So you're going to get a real level of exposure in terms of the euro dollar trade within the dollar index. And it's often a good hedge and indicator to show you where price action is likely to move to. Specifically, if you get a very strong move in the euro dollar, of course, you'll see something to the flip side in the dollar index. Okay, so I'll go back to the dollar index here, and that's just some food for thought to you in terms of trading the US dollar. Again, to reiterate, you're not simply getting long the dollar, you're getting long the dollar against a weighted basket of currencies, 6 currencies, including Swedish krona, pound sterling, Japanese yen, euro, and a few others there, really gaining that exposure against those weighted basket of currencies. So that brings us to the end of today's daily educational video here at Forex.Academy. Thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.